Willkommen to the original Silent Hill.
Welcome back to the creepy month of insert splash graphic.
You can really tell when we've recorded these, can't you? Fucking original Silent Hill for funsies.
Yay.
Not really for spookies. Jimmy on the controller.
Let's go for normal. I enjoyed this game when I played it as a kid.
And I have never actually played it. I played Silent Hill 2, and I played bit of 3 as well. Listen, Harry Mason, for some reason, are going on holiday to the most haunted place in frickin' America. Yeah, and your daughter's buggered off because you're a shitty driver. Meanwhile, in the Matrix.
Okay. So I am at the controls for this one. I never actually finished this game when I was a kid. I remember getting to the school.
I remember seeing a speedrun of this. Is that there is, obviously I won't go through it, but there is a glitch where you can actually walk through a certain area in a certain way at a certain time, like now, and you literally find Cheryl, you walk into her, and then the ending cutscene plays.
Amazing.
I know, the speed run thanks to that glitch is like a minute. Footsteps? Yep. Let me show. Although
Such a crafty idea. Like,
the fog.
We can't, you know, the PlayStation won't render the
draw distance is like 12 feet.
So let's just make it really foggy. How clever that idea was. And yes, as a result,
well, there we go.
really
Daughter found. Game over. Is that Cheryl? I don't know. It's your daughter, mate.
Where are you going?
No, the correct answer is come back here right now, young lady, and running right to her and grabbing her. Go on, Jim. Chase your daughter down the street in the middle of wherever the hell this is supposed to be. I actually know, because isn't it a case of Silent Hill is actually based on like a real place in America where there was like an underground coal fire?
Yes, because that is still the case.
It's still going,
yeah.
like right now. You can actually go to Silent Hill, although you won't be allowed to because of like fences and whatnot. And the fact that if you wander through, it looks kind of like this, and then you die because of the coal fumes. Pretty much, give or take.
Beware of dog. Okay. I like dogs.
But you weren't like these ones. There is never such a... Neither did whoever the hell decided to eat it. Or whatever.
Oh, did you hear that?
Yeah, the squidge. You actually squidged as you walked through the dog corpse, yes.
Amazing.
Yummy diddly doodly.
This is not going to go well.
No. And I got it. And there we go. You can barely hear it, but there's the iconic siren. Because, like, how long did it take for people to realise, oh, wait, yeah, the World War II sirens that indicated to people they were about to die. That might be a creepy sound. It's like, fucking hell. That was the whole point of the air raid siren. It was supposed to scare you.
If I remember rightly, if you try and go back...
Yep.
Yes, there you go.
What the hell? Which is a nice little touch. Although I've got to admit, as bad as the movies were of the Silent Hills, the transition effects were bloody brilliant. You know, the whole...
I don't know, I thought the second Silent Hill movie was pretty good.
No, I'd say the first one was better than the second, but it was the way that like the rust floated off of stuff, you know, when the transition happened, at least in the movies. That was brilliant. Obviously the PS1 could never hope to do it, which is why we've got this metallic little transition into well, hell, basically. And this was fucked up in the film because that guy was still alive. What's going on is you're about to get attacked by these little bastards.
Yeah.
Go on, Jim. Survive. Survive for longer than a minute. Go on. Never mind. Doesn't matter actually because you're supposed to die. But eagle-eyed Silent Hill fans will notice that we are playing the European version because those are the mole people and not the creepy children that the Americans and Japanese got. We are playing the censored version. Predominantly because we can't be asked to swap over the discs. Or at least the consoles. Gasp!
How long have you been watching me sleep?
That is a question to be worried about when asking a cop.
Did I say anything incriminating in my sleep?
No, the correct answer is exactly that, silence. You just don't say a sodding thing.
How do you feel?
Like I've been on narcotics for 4 days. I mean, hello, officer.
Run over by a truck. But I'm all right, I guess.
Glad to hear it.
I love the soundtrack of Silent Hill 1 though, because it's just nothing like anything else.
So creepy.
Wait a second, I'm just a tourist.
To the point where if I'm driving along at night and
you put on the Silent Hill 1 soundtrack?
No, but if I'm driving along at night and it's it's dark and you're going through the woods and what have you, and the radio starts to cut out and gives you static, fuck me, it still even now sends a shiver up. My hairs on the back of my neck stand up.
You actually, I mean, admittedly, I'm interrupting a cutscene here, but when there was actually one point when I was a kid, not long after I actually played Silent Hill 1, me and my dad were driving back over a forest road, and it was all had that fog that you have maybe a dozen feet of clear and then a solid fog bank. And we were driving through there, and an albino stag was standing in the middle of the road, red eyes and everything. I screamed like a woman, and I mean, admittedly, I was maybe what?
What I can tell.
I don't fucking know. Dick. No, I was probably maybe 12 or something at the time, so just on that cusp of being able to be a complete pussy without having recriminations. But fuck.
But old enough to know that it's not a real monster. There's that.
But young enough to have that minute of I think I'm about to die.
Yeah.
Gordon Bennett, Sybil. But it's just such a weird soundtrack. It's it's mechanical entirely. There's very little actual music. There's a guitarist and a guy, by the sounds of it, trying to fuck one of those things that make the Star Trek. A
theremin.
Theremin. A guy trying to fuck a theremin.
My daughter. I've got to find her.
Of course you do, Harry. Now you're concerned about her.
No way. It's dangerous out there.
It's dangerous to go alone. Here, take this.
Take this, yeah.
In that case, I need to find her now. Cheryl's my little girl.
Well, not really, but we'll get into that.
Spoiler alert.
I can't just leave her out there by herself.
Well, you have for the past 10 minutes, so it doesn't matter, does it, mate?
Have you got a gun?
Welcome to America.
No.
The single most unbelievable part about this entire thing.
No, here's the most unbelievable part.
I have heaps.
Here, take my assigned force weapon. Please don't murder anyone with it, or I might get in trouble.
Before you pull the trigger, know who you're shooting.
You?
There's a really great little note that we're not going to really be able to demonstrate, but if you played this came out just after
Columbine?
the DualShock Wizard had started being a thing, and there's a real a moment where this really shone over Resident Evil at the time, was that as you sort of run around, I mean, I'll see if I can maybe demonstrate a little bit of it, but if I'm just going to run into this little
cubby
into these to try and tire him out, but if now see, you can hear him sort of breathing there. If you had the DualShock on, you'd be able to feel his increased heartbeat through the DualShock. And that was some. Well, that was when
vibration first started coming in. I mean, it's such a small thing now because it's so ubiquitous, but
this was
it really
that was a
biggie.
real thing, and people were losing their minds because of how sort of unique that little element was. And it was just the little things. This was really at the point where it was these little things that really separated this game from
Resi.
From things like Resident Evil, and really sort of raised the bar for what you could do with what you could do with
PlayStation.
Well, gaming just as generally.
Is there anything else you can grab?
Saying I'm missing something. The map. Okay, little known potentially fact for you. All of these street names are named after famous horror writers. So, like, for example, Backman Road there is the pen name for Stephen King.
Ah, really?
Yep.
Hello, did you see that?
I certainly did.
Oh, and that is probably the most famous thing about Silent Hill, the radio crackling when there's bastards
static.
around.
Huh. Radio. What's going on with that radio?
Evil. Not of the Resident variety, but more the flappy eat your face style. Speaking of which... Go on, Jimmy. Engage in some anti-aircraft fire.
This is not a dream. What's happening to this place?
And this is the point where you say, well, I can make other children. Bye! And you just run down the road until town ceases to exist.
Now, because I was able to kill that one, I didn't need to, but the one of the best parts about this game was if you got something on the ground, you could kick it in the face.
Yeah.
And your stomp was so powerful. Like, you kicked something in the face, it died. Like,
I still think the best stomp is Dead Space's stomp.
Oh, yes, but I mean, Dead Space's one is ridiculous.
Yeah, that sort of stomp and everything around you explodes. Again, even this early on, I still think the Silent Hill games have the best map system in existence.
Oh, yes.
Without a shadow of a doubt. But like you said, a mix between the fog as a necessity for the PS1's render distance and the style of the cameras, the fact that they move so much. I think it's a flapper.
Yeah, there were a lot of flappers out at the start.
Or whatever they're called.
It's all good, it's just taking its time.
Yeah. So I'll give it a few seconds and I'll do the... Makes you realise how much we've been spoilt by digital shit. Oh, all that waiting for a help. Yeah, just run. Yeah, if you just run in a circle, that's it. You get... Oh, well. Apart from getting your face stuck on a fire hydrant, you can kind of just miss them.
But,
So apart from running from gargoyles, that makes it twice now. I've had to pop the hood of the old PS1.
Yep.
Bless her. Ugh.
how much of the conversation you'll have heard of the... Oh, shit.
Just avoid him. just run around the Cerberus.
That's it. So, yeah, we were just having the rant about...
Aging hardware.
Aging hardware.
But then again, like cartridge owners don't have this problem. Mostly, it's just all the solid state lasers. Early, it's all early hardware. But again, it's like with the PS2 hard drive system that I've got at the moment. Obviously, not using it at the moment because this is PS1. But like that's a solution for like PS2 and some PS1 stuff as well. Question mark, it's a bit complicated. But until they release there is like a PS1 flash drive in production. Oh. It just says to school. How the hell could you know? So but it is like a flash cartridge. Like you remember the old action replays which you used to plug in the back of the PS1. I know I had one. I don't know about you, but like you could do that. There's people using that sort of like technology to basically put in like a flash cart, so you can just have like your PS1 games on an SD card and just use it like that. And there you go. You can still use the original hardware and the games, but just in a slightly roundabout twist, which means that even if the discs and the laser within the system is buggered, it still works. which is fantastic. I love the fact that people are doing that. And if you like, there's a great mini documentary on a guy who does the same for the Sega Saturn, which just shows how in depth it actually is to do that reverse engineering. Yes, scream from
worst holiday destination ever.
Yeah, literally, and that's it. I love the fact that Harry came here for a holiday. It's not like with James and Silent Hill 2 where he's searching for his wife. It's not with Silent Hill 3 where... Is it Hannah? I can't remember. Heather. It was H something, whatever. Heather, who was basically trying to get home to her dad and then solve his murder, which I may or may not bleep out. Whatever, but this, he's literally just come here to go on holiday. All he wants to do is just sit on the side of the beach and maybe talk to some beach whore or something. Oh, for fuck's sake.
No, all right, we're good. We're good.
Oh, we are good. I don't have to pop the hood. PlayStation again. Oh, we should have gone for the digital copy. But then again, it's kind of, that's what I like to do. I like to game on the original hardware. I may... Hello?
Oh.
There's a fuck off massive hole here. It certainly hasn't gone now because it's right in front of your face.
There we go.
Oh, there we go. We have some paper noise. Do we have a picture? We do. So Matheson Street is a big fuck you. Yes, James Phones. I agree. Isn't there something inside that doghouse?
Yes, that's what I'm...
You trying to loop it so you don't...
No, I'm sure actually the doghouse key...
is it later?
It's where you get the...
The dog key for the secret ending?
No, I mean, you get it from the dog ending, I'm sure, but the actual doghouse itself is linked to getting the katana.
Alright.
Which was the best melee weapon you could get in the game by a country mile. It was super powerful and really fast.
Fair enough, son.
Oh, for the love of God.
Do we have to go around the long way then?
More than likely, by the looks of things.
And the map says some degree of fuck you. Yes. So yeah, so it's Elroy Street all the way around the bottom.
Oh well, you were right.
I take no pleasure in such, mildly.
But yeah, because there was a couple of melee weapons you could get in this game. Obviously, the knife was one, the pipe was another, and then you picked up a sledgehammer later on in the hospital. But the sledgehammer was actually fairly useless because it was so slow. I mean, some of the really slow-moving enemies, and the nurses were a good example because they were quite slow-moving.
Not sexy nurses.
No, they were really like pustule nurses in this one.
Takes all kinds, I guess.
They were... you could sort of hit them with it if you timed it just right, and then when they were on the ground, kick them in the face. But then you could do the same thing with a pipe, and the pipe was just... the pipe is kind of the sort of...
Catch-all?
Yeah, the best kind of middle ground one. Because the pipe moves quite quickly, but hits harder than... I mean, the knife is fucking useless. Like, there's just no point. If you've done a knife run using only the knife, then,
How art to God?
More power to you.
It's like I've said, though, with any
much time.
game that's, like, beyond maybe 5 years old, someone would have done a level 1 or a basic weapon or even, like, a pacifist, like, no damage run whatsoever apart from those bosses you absolutely have to defeat. Someone would have done that and gotten a ridiculous time involved in it. Like, the speedrunner community is borderline level insane at times. Because it's like, yeah, I get it, that's what you want to do, but you kind of kill what the game's about, really. Oh, really? Where the fuck do we go then? Well, that answers that question. By the way, Jim's at the controls and actually knows what the fuck he's doing. So what the hell does the Scarecrow Key do?
I believe it opens a nightclub or something.
Oh, hello. That's different. Doghouse. Okay, so now it's directing us directly to the doghouse on Matheson Street. So maybe there is something in it. I know we've been there, but maybe we needed that to trigger it. So where the hell's Matheson Street? Piss off, dog. There we go. So do you look... That boy. No, I think he got him before he needed to kick him. So there should be something inside the house then, right? Oh, there we are. So which house is it? This one? That would make sense, right? And it does. Good evening. Avon calling. Anything? Besides drugs? I've never found any survival horror which takes place in an open area to be scary, even if it is like woods or something like that. It always seems like it's when it's indoors, it's this sort of like the fixed camera or even float camera, like with Silent Hill, works more.
But that's because it's, you know, this is a house like the one that you live in. You know, and that's what makes it scary. It's, you know, the fact that it could be in your house. And, you know, that's infinitely more frightening than anything, you know, it's, you know, insane asylums or, you know, what this, that, and the other, and it's all well and good, but at the same time, you need that...
familiarity. Oh, shit.
Excellent.
So we need a key. Keys for ellipse. Alright, what the fuck does that mean? So we've got the Scarecrow Key, presumably from there on the right. So we need to go up and along, maybe? I would gather so. I can't think where the fuck else were. Speedrunners we are not.
No, and as I say, I remember some of this from when I played it before, but then it all kind of bleeds, because I had the demo from the PlayStation magazine as well.
Was it fun? Which was it as a demo? Again, because I might have mentioned this before, but the games which had demos of other games in them, which might have like made them sell, like the famous one is like Zone of the Enders having Metal Gear Solid 2 in them, which is why people bought it for Metal Gear Solid 2, not for Zone of the Enders. But wasn't there one which had like Silent Hill in the back? Was it one of the Final Fantasies or something?
No, I want to say...
What was it? There was one of
Metal Gear Solid.
Maybe?
Cool, they're both Konami, aren't they?
Yep, I'm looking at it in the flesh, right here in my hands, in my old copy of Metal Gear Solid 1 for PS1, Silent Hill 1 demo. Jimmy's right.
Because I always thought it was a bit strange that the original Metal Gear Solid came in one of those old school double disc boxes.
Double jewels, yeah.
And
it was a 2-disc game,
and it was a 2-disc game. You know, I mean, like I remember having Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9, and
4-discers, yeah.
And 7 was 3, 8 and 9 were 4, and you know you needed that then because you know it was a huge.
You had 4 discs, 3+ discs. You need a double jewel case.
Okay, so I clearly missed the key that's down here.
Doesn't it?
Keep your eyes open for a key.
Is it saying there is a key down here, or is it just saying... Because what's that massive arrow? Well, it's being a polite flying demonic monstrosity. They don't drop ammo, do they? No, they don't.
No. This is old school survival horror, mate.
I was just asking because there have been weirder things than that.
Ain't no baddies in Silent Hill dropping ammunition.
Which again makes sense. Because I always like it when enemy drops in games make sense. Like you kill a soldier, they drop like ammunition and shit. That makes sense. It's like all like weird times where you like, I don't know, you shoot like a rabid dog and he drops like a ring of +1 bitch slapping.
Have you ever played the Bards Tale?
I haven't. It's on my PS2 hard drive to play.
The Bards Tale is fucking hilarious.
We may have to have a look at that.
And it
All I
addresses
remember
that.
of it is that one clip of like the guys singing the beer tiddly song right at the start.
Yep. You would
Charlie Mops, that's it. The Charlie Mops song. That's the one. That's the bit I remember from that. I don't remember anything else. Hello, there we go.
You will like the Bard's Tale.
Because it's fucking silly.
Because it's fucking hilarious.
That sounds my sort of cup of tea. A bit like Armed and Dangerous, although admittedly that was PC, so that wasn't your sort of crowd. But again, that sort of thing, it's sort of almost sort of Monty Python-y sort of area of like silly but funny, if you get my drift.
Yeah, I was never a huge fan of Monty Python.
No, well, again, there's like selective bits, and it was of its time. But that's that sort of style. If you
Yeah. No, my issue with Monty Python was the fact that the first time I saw it, it was really, really funny.
And then it got quoted to death over years.
I think if I can count up all of the lines that have been quoted at me, I have seen The Life of Brian probably 1,000 times.
Exactly.
Like, I have had the entirety of the script read to me verbatim by people about 1,000 times through. And you know, when a joke has to be re-explained and is retold, they stop being funny. And
yep.
And Monty Python, it's like any sort of comedy. It's like Anchorman's a great example. Like, Anchorman's really funny the first time you watch it, but if someone tells you all of the jokes, Anchorman is just a series of one-liners.
It's true.
So we got
the key, so we go back to the red dot.
Yes, I know, but there were 3 locks in the wall.
No, it said there were 2 locks.
Yes, I know, 2 left.
Head on back and just see, because it didn't mark anything else.
No.
Just see, because it might say if there's one more left or not. I'm pretty positive it would only be 2. I can't think where the hell else we could go. We're literally wandering around high off our faces on soot fumes. Yeah.
Despite this is the thing I always found really bizarre about these games, was that
you have a gun, the universal lockpick,
but you also have a bloody great
battering ram,
a bloody great metal pipe. Yeah.
No, again, that's one of the things I loved about the Resi Outbreak series, is that you could go through the level solving the puzzles in order to get the keys, or you could just batter the fucking door down. It took longer, but you could still do it. Those are one of the ones which they really need to remaster, because that will work so well in the modern setting where everything's online.
Not necessarily remaster it, but just
re-release it,
or do something very similar. But then I suppose the problem with it is that now there are so many other games that do what it did.
I wouldn't say so. Not in the classic Resi style.
But in this, but I mean, we've said already that survival horror is not what it used to be.
No.
People aren't too bothered anymore by it, and I think things like Left 4 Dead have done so well.
They're action.
Yes, I know, but it's the surviving against the zombies kind of thing. Yeah, see, that's what I mean. There's one more.
No, you're right.
And I cannot think.
I'll say, go back to the map. What about the giant arrow? Because you got a circle where you got the key that was by the...
Oh, I'm a fucking idiot.
Yeah, because there's a circle where you got the key which was on the bridge, on that little bridge. And then you got the line where you went to get the other key, and then you got the great big fuck off arrow. So I think it's great big fuck off arrow time.
Oh, God.
Ah, there we are. Key and... Yeah, key, a line, and a giant feck off box of bullets. Feck off.
I am starting to lose my patience.
Yeah, those really are annoying fuckers.
Because, there's nothing scary about those. Like, those fucking weird things in 2 that just have that weird sort of jerky
the unnatural movements. I say because it's like the... I'm not sure what the psychological term is for it is, but it's when something looks normal but acts or moves unnaturally, it instinctively makes you, like, freak the fuck out.
I mean, it's kind of related to the old Uncanny Valley syndrome.
Yeah, it's not exactly that. It's something else, but it's in that same vein. I will grant you that. But again, it's not because of the way it looks, it's because of the way it acts. That's what's fucked up.
Yeah, 'cause I mean, technically, the Uncanny Valley is for things like
Well, it's
robots
that
or
curve,
pictures where something looks so human,
but misses
but it's not.
something.
Yeah.
Fuck
Ow.
you. That's a fuck off, you know. It's like, from the darkness. Fuck off. Hallelujah. Last key. What is it? It's a wooden door.
Yeah, I know. Could you imagine, like, having these 3 locks and all the keys are all around your house? So, like, when you go to put the bins out, you need to go all
I
over
would have
town.
kicked that fucker down at least twice whilst just... I don't know.
Oh, now
hungover.
comes the spookiness.
In fact, yeah, it's even got the Resident Evil drone tone. It always sounded like someone going, screw it. And because they couldn't afford the creepy effects like the ones in 2 and 3, we are now in the Darkverse. For reasons... Because. Literally because. Cheryl, sweetheart. You're about to get a right royal bollocking because of all this shit.
Now, onto the most horrifying and scary place of all.
School!
American High School.
To be fair, that is actually fairly accurate.
And then again, in the school, you had all the little children things that all got censored out, and we now have
In this version.
the grey men.
in this one, the weird little mole things from the frickin' beginning that you saw. Which we may or may not see, depending on how much you want to. Well, I hope you enjoyed Silent Hill 1.
Yeah, that'll do. This game goes on for literally forever.
Yeah, it's a long one, but it is a bloody good one. It's a classic of survival horror for a damn good reason. Although Silent Hill 2 is infinitely better.
I don't know. Different. They
Yeah,
serve 2 different things.
Different strokes, different folks, but still.
Either way.
Better is better. You know.
Ooh.
You just want to get slapped, don't you?